Hi, high achievers. It's KayCee Mogel out of the Portland, Oregon marketplace, and I am so excited to share with you or introduce to you today the High Achievers Success Launch Plan document. And it's my opinion that this document is going to, if used properly and used consistently, will absolutely help create a lot of momentum in your business. This launch sheet is designed for the newest partner enrolling into your business to really get set up for success right out of the gates. And I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever had a new partner enroll, super excited with the best of intentions, not return your phone call after a couple days, this is something that you can use and do with them that's gonna help keep them excited until their enrollment kit comes or until they're able to actually put everything into place. So, there's kind of that 24-hour game plan or 24-hour rule where you want to keep a new partner's excitement level high and their fear really low. Like what happens when they first realize what's possible with a business plan like you have. Now, every day that goes by, the excitement level clicks down and the fear goes up. And when they reach that place, maybe after 2-3 days where fear is higher than excitement, that's when they stop returning phone calls and text messages. So this is something that you can do along with getting the impact product in their hand, let them borrow yours or library yours out until their kit comes in. Get something that you know is gonna work for them and let them stay excited about what we have. But in the meantime, this process will keep them focused on what's important, on what's possible, and it's also gonna put them into action right away. So every time you can create a win or something positive for that new partner, it keeps excitement up and the fear down. So stick with me. I'm gonna talk through exactly how to do this with a new partner. Step by step, this guide lays it out for you. It's really simple to follow. I think you guys are gonna love this. And I guarantee you, if you take the time to do it, you're gonna see a real difference in your business. And what's great about this guide is it keeps the system duplicatable. So no matter what business you're in, it follows the general guidelines of our industry and what it is we wanna keep people focused on. So let's go through it. Okay, now I'm gonna go through this launch sheet with you step by step so you know how to go through this process with your newest partner. But you can actually go to highachieversplaybook.com, find the link. There's a PDF there you can download. So you can pause this video, you can go print that out and follow along with me, or you can watch the video and print it out later. But this is something that's designed to do with your newest partner. So you're gonna wanna have a copy of it for them to actually fill out as you're going through these step-by-step with them, and they'll have it to keep so they can track their progress. So let's go through this. The most important thing that you're gonna wanna convey to that new partner is they want to be absolutely, bring their work ethic to this. This is a business. They've gotta have a desire for something more, which they obviously do because they've taken that leap to join you in your business. But they've got to be coachable. Some of the things that we're going to go through are going to be a little bit uncomfortable for people. And so you're there with them doing this and encouraging them along and really schedule, I would say, about at least an hour to go through this process with your newest partner. We're going to go through it really quickly, but I think the way that this lays out, it's going to be really simple for you to remember how to go back and do this. Plus, we have this training on video, so you can go back and watch it if you need to. So step one, everybody sees something different. For some people, they start in this industry because they want more time freedom. They love the idea of being able to do whatever it is that they want. They want to travel with their family. Some people want to pay off debt. Some people, they like the idea of just making a lot of money. Whatever it is, I think it's really important to connect with that new partner and find out why they're there, why they're here, what they saw and what they thought possible. And I really take a lot of time to discover that primary motivating factor, because that's the key that's really gonna get somebody through a tough day. And I would encourage you all to be really connected to somebody that comes into your business. A lot of times we've got that period of time that they're waiting for their enrollment kit to come, or you wanna make sure to stay connected and talking with them on a constant basis, a couple times a day, even if it's just a quick text, but find out from them what it is that they saw, what they realized was possible, and I encourage you to get into great detail. I mean, I will take a lot of time to dig down with someone and find out, a lot of times when people say, well, I was attracted to this because I want to make a lot of money. That's true. That's a good answer. But find out deeper than that. What would making more money do for you? What would that look like? Tell me about it. Even getting down to the details where they're describing a certain situation, because the more they can see that in their mind, the more you're going to understand what motivates them, and you're going to know how to help them through a rough day. And that's really the basis of the why, or the primary motivating factor. So definitely take time in step 1. Even give them time to write it out, and make sure that you connect it. If you're taking notes, I encourage you as a leader, be taking notes as you go so you can remember what it is. And a lot of times we're doing this remotely. It's over a webcam, FaceTime, whatever avenue you use. I encourage you to be face-to-face in some fashion with your new partners. Now, you're going to see here on this step 1, we're actually finding out what their income goal is in their first 30 days. That's going to help you learn how to coach them. Somebody who wants to make $1,000 is going to be coached a little differently than somebody that wants to make $10,000. And whatever their answer is, you encourage, and you help them along the way. You let them know that anything is possible here, and we're gonna break it down exactly so you know how to achieve what it is that you want. I think it's also important to hit on their long-term goal. Our business is a long-term. There's always a long-term aspect. We want people here a year from now. So if we're only focusing on short-term goals, if they miss those targets, a lot of times that's really discouraging. So it's important to know what they want 3 to 5 years down the line. It's important to spend some time talking about that and how residual income starts off low and grows over time. Now, at the bottom of the sheet on step 1 is actually a big blank space, because you have different compensation plans and different opportunities. It's really important to have a copy of that with you, like I mentioned, but you want to draw out on this space, or have your newest partner draw out exactly what it looks like to achieve the amount of money they want to make in their first 30 days. The idea is that when you're done with page 1, they're very clear on what it looks like to generate that specific amount of money. Now, some of you are going to be sitting with really ambitious, excited people who throw out a goal that might not fit on this sheet. That's okay. Grab another piece of paper, but definitely go through that process. There's something that happens when you put pen to paper and their eyes actually see and draw out what that looks like. You really want to be clear about that. That's what you're going to be coaching them to do, and you want to make sure they understand it. So use that space, get an extra sheet if you need to, but definitely draw out what that dollar amount looks like for them to achieve in their first 30 days. All right, so let's talk about step 2 on our launch plan document. This is when somebody is open for business. So I like to talk to my new partners about what a grand opening looks like in the brick and mortar business. Think about the newest business in town. What would they do to let the town know, or let the area know that they're open for business? They make a big deal about being open. There's usually balloons and hot dogs and all kinds of things going on, with the idea that not everyone's going to come into that store or that restaurant and buy, but they're open for business, and that's the important thing. And so many people, don't want to let the world know what they're doing, but that's such an important factor. So this is designed to help them through that process and stay excited about letting people know what they're doing. So our goal in the beginning is to share your opportunity with a minimum of 15 people. Now, you're going to meet people who are going to show way more than that. You're going to meet people who are going to cringe at the idea of showing 15. And this is designed to kind of help them work through that, and also to help you know who their contacts are and really go alongside them on this. So let's talk about it. So the key here is to remain excited, and you want them to feel confident about what it is that they're sharing. And I think this is the part where people get a little bit apprehensive. So that's why we discuss the why and we discuss the money in step 1, because when you get resistance on step 2, you get to go back to, remember, you want to be on the beach with your kids and that warm sand and the sound of the ocean. So remind them of their why, and that's why you want to get deep on that so you can bring it back on the uncomfortable spots. So here we go. Urgency, conviction, excitement, these are the key things. Remind them about that. And I like to go through a process because a lot of times, we have to remind them, set people up right away knowing what the expectations would be. So if your goal is to show 15 people the business, you may have to call 30 or 50 people in order to get those 15 exposures. So talk to them about that. If people are expecting every single person they contact to respond in a positive way or be as excited as they are, then we're gonna have to manage emotions, and really we wanna keep that emotional roller coaster steady. So the first thing we do is there's an exercise right on the sheet where they get to brainstorm the first people that come to mind. And so as leaders, you're guiding them through that process. So I say, okay, I want you to, just for fun, this is just for you and for you to have to help you remember, but who are the 5 most influential people you can think of? Who are the 5 most successful people you know? Write their names down right now. And I stop, I pause, I let them go through that process because they'll start thinking of people right away. The second call or the second list that I have them make is people who look up to them. So who are people in your life, in your world, who really look up to you? Put their names down. And I think it's powerful to use those names in your example moving forward. So really pay attention, have them share with you who they're writing down if you're remote and you're not sitting next to them. I think that's an important thing to take note of. And then the third column is people that you love the most. When you're doing a good job in step 1 of painting a picture, a 3 to 5 year goal, there's going to be people in their life that they want to bless with this opportunity. There's people that they are going to want to set up, and that's really who we're going for in this column. And so have them write those names down and take note of who they're saying are the people they love the most. So now we're moving into the next part, which is actually getting into some verbiage, getting into the action of inviting people. And I want to take note or acknowledge the fact that there's so many different ways now with social media, with webinar formats and technology that we can share this business. I want you to follow the system of your leadership and what is working for you. So sometimes it's a home meeting, sometimes it's a luncheon, sometimes it's a webinar, or it could be just a phone call, a conference call where people just dial in and listen to the information, maybe a quick video, whatever that exposure process is for you. These lists, these scripts are just a guide to help get people to the information. And I like to remind my newest partner that the invite is strictly an invite. It's really important that they have the confidence and posture with the information. And when you're new, you're scared, you're excited. And a lot of times we call it verbal vomiting, or, they're just throwing information at people and it's a little bit much. So the scripts that are here are just a guide. I think it's important for people to be themselves and have fun with it. But definitely, and kind of an easy way to remind somebody new is any words that you're saying in the opportunity presentation. So all of those details, those are things you're going to want to avoid in the invite. Your role is just to get those people that you just laid out, that you love and care about and that you respect. You just want to get them to the information so that they can hear it the same way you did. So remind them how much sense it made for them when they heard it. And then, so go through this. I would encourage you to actually practice with a new partner, a lot of times if I'm with them, we'll get on the phone right then, because these first 15 names they've already given you are people that they're really comfortable with. So a lot of times they're willing to dial a number, say, I'm sitting here with someone that I really respect, I'm really excited, and I've had people just hand me the phone at that point. And my whole goal in the beginning is just to make that person feel comfortable, get them in conversation, and then again, just get them to the tool or get their commitment to hear the information. I think is really important. So this kind of is a guide, but still be yourself. You guys can read through. There's examples of what to say to friends and family. There's examples to say as a professional to another professional, what to say to people you look up to. But the key is to encourage your partner, to build them up, to feel comfortable, and allow them to have a posture so that they can convey how important this is and what a difference this business opportunity is going to make, what it's going to be for them. And when people can hear that in their voice, I think they're going to get a lot better response than when people are nervous. So I would encourage all of you as leaders to really take some time here, hold their hand, so to speak, as much as they need, and get them through the first couple phone calls and invitations to get good results on their initial exposures. So let's talk about posture a little bit, because I think that that's an important thing. And one of the things that will cause a new partner to go dark right away is they get a couple rejections right out of the gates. And almost every single time, we share with them how important it is to let the tools or let the leadership do the presenting. Without a doubt, everyone leaves excited when they've had that light bulb go off, and they immediately want to go home and share what they heard and why they're excited. So that posture can disappear really, really quickly. And so that's, in the first couple days of their business, I think it's important to talk to somebody about, let me put it this way. A lot of times I'll have somebody not return calls or they get nervous, because all of a sudden, somebody they really expected to do this with them says no. And if those first few people they think of turn down the idea right away, it can cause someone to go, you know what, this isn't for me. So if we can talk to them about borrowing posture, aligning with the leadership, talk about stories of people in your company that have already had success. Make sure that you're identifying with them. Maybe there's somebody in your leadership that has a really similar story to that person. And this is where edification comes in, where you're basically giving credibility to that new partner in the terms of other stories or testimonials. So make sure they've got before and after pictures or testimonials where somebody has had a significant difference or significant impact. Maybe it's a money story. Maybe there's somebody in your business or team who has a similar background. Then you can share that with your new partner and equip them with that posture or confidence, so that when they get nervous and they don't know what to say, because ultimately people are going to say, are you making money? How much money have you made? Well, you know what? I'm brand new. I just got started, but you've got to meet this person. And so make sure that you're equipping, maybe there's team pages or different sites where they can go to for that information. Give them that borrowed posture and belief while they're building their story. But the key is here, we want to keep the newest partner in action. Remember, excitement and fear. Every win we can help them get is going to keep their excitement high. So don't take for granted, don't leave someone alone during this time. Teach them how to use other stories and testimonials while they're getting and creating their own. All right. Step 3, we're going to talk about getting social. Almost 10 years ago when I started this business, everything was done in living rooms, in luncheon style. It was all designed to be in person. And what has happened over the last few years is really exciting, because it allows us to get our business in front of more people, and we can really reach masses right away. And I think it's really important to make sure that your newest partner can do this in the right way. We really want them to still be themselves, so whatever their style is great, but give them some guidelines as we go. Make sure that they are not secret agents of their business, but they actually make an announcement in that grand opening. So step 3 is designed to connect that partner with the online tools or the social media aspects that can help them get their message out quick, and can also share with their warm market or their connections on social media what your business is. This is where we're encouraging them to track their story or their progress. So whether you have a product-based opportunity that you know there's going to be physical changes, don't take for granted that someone's just going to automatically take pictures. And in order for those pictures to be credible, make sure you give them tips on lighting and time of day to keep those pictures as consistent as possible through their tracking process. Make sure that they are connected on social media with leadership, with upline, sideline, crossline, whoever you feel is going to be impactful to them. This is why it's important to know people's stories in your business, know similar backgrounds. Again, going back to step one, that's why we went through their why. You're going to have a really good idea at this point who to connect them with in your business through social media. There's actually a place on the tracker where they can add, you can write down the team pages. If they haven't already done it, they can reach out and get invited onto those pages so that they feel connected and they're a part of it. Now, make sure you have that discussion with your new partners. We never want to encourage people to spam the opportunity. We want to make sure that people remember that when they, for example, let's talk about Facebook. I can talk about my personal page. I've got friends from high school and elementary school. I've got people from church and different organizations. I've got people from different businesses that I've been involved with. And it's important to remember that you have a mixed audience. So a business page is one way to go, and that's all for business, but make sure your personal page, you want people to know what you're doing, but you don't want them to feel overwhelmed or spammed. And that's really, I think, a personal preference or style, but having that conversation, making people aware of it is important. And so this step 3 gives you an avenue to talk about that, even to help walk them through getting connected if they aren't already. Let's talk about step 4. I honestly think that you could be horrible at every other aspect of the sheet, but if you get really, really good at step 4, that's going to help cover you in any area that you lack or that you don't feel confident on, and that's promoting events. So regardless of your system at your company, regardless of your compensation plan or your model, this is really, really important for your new partner to feel like they're a part of something bigger. It's important for them to know they are business owners. They're in business for themselves. What they create is going to bless generations of their family, or could, but they're not alone. And this can give people confidence. I've seen more leaders emerge out of coming out at an event, whether it's a huge conference or even just a local meeting, even just a webinar. Make sure that you're conveying the importance that it is to be connected and to know what's going on for these new partners so that they don't feel alone. So step 4 gives you a place where you can actually fill in, and I encourage you to either do this with them or make sure that they're doing it as we go. Don't take this part for granted, because the more connected they are right in the beginning, the better chance that they're going to have to make it through some of those tough days, because they're going to hear a lot more and realize this is much bigger than just them or just the scope of what they've seen so far. So take the time to go through this. Make sure that everything is filled out. Make sure you have their commitment to attend as much as possible in the upcoming events, and let your team, let your leadership, let your company and the tools that they're going to see do the work for you. At the very, very bottom is a spot for you to fill in their actual sponsor, their immediate upline leaders, and where in the corner they have a spot they can even fill in their partner, their rep number, whatever is relevant to their own position in the company. That's important things that sometimes they get overwhelmed and forget. So I love that there's a spot for them to fill that in right there. Now, the last page of the launch document is 100% just a tool for you to use as you're moving through this process. It's a memory jogger. So I don't know how many of you have sat down with a new partner and all of a sudden they have amnesia when it comes to contacts in their life, and they suddenly go from, feeling excited to actually having to write down names and they can't think of anyone. And it's funny because usually they can pull out their phone and they've got hundreds of contacts in there. So this tool is great. It really gets them thinking very specifically about people, and they'll realize just going through the first couple of things here how many people they actually know and are in contact with. And I encourage you, the playbook has got the master prospect list. So whatever they fill out on this sheet, they're going to transfer to that master prospect list. And this memory jogger is going to be a guide for them to really start making some progress writing in names on that master prospect list. So again, I encourage you to have the playbook, have that in hand, and teach your team how to have these tools so that they can move forward. They can really have success as they start out and create a lot of momentum. Thank you for joining me and going over the success launch plan. Don't forget, if you haven't, go to highachieversplaybook.com. Find the PDF, download it. I really encourage each one of you to go through this process yourself. Take some time, get to a quiet place, lay out your next 30 days, lay out your 3 to 5 year plan and your goals. What's your next rank goal? Do that so that when you're, as a leader, going through this with a new partner, you understand what they're feeling, how it plays out, and have fun. You're going to create a lot of momentum. Get ready to get busy if you follow this plan with your new partners and teach them to do the same. Good luck. Go get them.